Respect the place that you call home. Respect the land in which you roam. Respect the country you were born. Let's take it back. Respect reform. Hold on to freedom, hold on to hope.
No, it's your phone.
Don't give them slack, don't give them rope. Don't walk and hang your head in shame. Be proud, stand tall, and we will reign.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Pod 42. You're watching Exeter News Change, and we've got a great topic this week, very important topic. It's called Is Send in Crisis? And I'll give £1. This is unscripted, okay? We're live. But I will give £1, Neil and Tony, to the first person, okay? Within 30 seconds, I can actually text in, and you can text in on YouTube, Facebook, and tell me what the acronym SEND stands for, okay? Time hack, go now. Okay, so thanks for joining us this evening for another live discussion on these issues. We're focusing on local issues, guys, here, and issues that matter to people, okay? And one of the interesting aspects of this conversation tonight is that, well, I take it that Neil thought I had dementia because he's got me hooked up to a teleprompter like Joe Biden did, okay? But I'm not going to screw it up like he did. I'm going to try to push the right buttons. And anyway, back to the serious topic here tonight. So if you'd like to join us tonight, be part of the conversation, please message us directly, okay? Get in touch. You can comment during the live podcast. Last week set a record for it. The most amount of comments we've ever had. We thank you for that. And last week we also had R from Hong Kong, T from Los Angeles. We also had one from Texas. And tell us where you're from. Text it in. Okay, it'll be really fun. Okay, so we always want to hear about local issues, though, and here's a way to get in touch. Just to say it again to you. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this over to Neil here, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about what we're up to tonight.
Yeah, good evening. So I'm trying to get my stuff works, so when the messages come out, I'm not the best at doing this, Rob, and I think your phone went into overdrive and switched off on me. So
okay.
It's quite a interesting subject. The reason we're bringing Send up is I've had a lot of emails, 4 or 5 emails, which is quite a lot of emails regarding Send and children. It's to do with the educational health plans or care health plans, ECHPs, and I just thought we would bring this subject up. Now, tonight, I'm going to be the bad guy, right? And I stress, I'm going to be the bad guy. And what I mean by that is we're going to be discussing about children's needs, special educational needs and disabilities. We're going to be looking at what's happened in the past, what's happened in the present. And then we're going to have to look at it, how we're going to change things, right? What can we do? Because we can sit here and moan, but I'm going to be the negative man. I must stress, I am just doing this to be the opposite person. So if we're in a normal environment, there's always somebody for and there's always somebody against. So can I stress that enough? That I'm going to be the negative man, Tony. Okay, before we carry on, Nat sends his regards. He's caught up in Taunton because he's doing his job, and he says, but he will be back on next week.
Okay, thanks a lot, Neil. And I'd like to introduce our guest tonight, Tina. And Tina, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, and why you're on the podcast, please.
Okay, I'm Tina. I live in St Thomas's, and I've had a child who's gone through special educational needs 30 odd years ago.
So what you're saying is, Tina, you're in a position where you can tell us the things that you had to go through to get that child assessed and to get him an educational care plan, and all the problems that you met and the barriers you met and how hard it was back then. And as we'll talk about later on, it's even harder now.
Yeah, I admit if I had a child now that had to go through SEND, I don't know how I would go through it because it's so hard. It's so difficult. And you're just hit against barrier and barrier.
You do. I mean, we'll be talking about it later on, but there are a lot of horror stories out there. And obviously, I will mention at this stage, they don't want me to, Tina is my wife. So I know what we went through as a family. So I can relate to all of this. And as Neil was saying, we do, he is getting a lot of emails now about this issue and this problem. And, there has to be a solution out there. You cannot carry on the way it is. It's affecting children's lives. So anyway, I've said my piece on that one for now.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tony. And hey, by the way, we haven't done this in a while, but since we have so many people normally watching this show, okay, I know you're celebrities and famous people, but
well, Neil is.
You got to tell us who are you?
I'm only famous.
Who are you, Tony, and why are you on this podcast? And where do you live?
As I say I think we're on pod 43 now. 43, yeah. I'm 42. Sorry, I think that's what you're saying, Rob. Local election, the county elections. I was elected in last May to represent the wards of Exwick and St Thomas, of which I'm privileged to do. I'm very proud to do. I try and do the best I can. I do not back down on anything, and as it stands at the moment, as I'll tell you later on, some of the things I've got up to on the last week.
Thank you very much. Neil,
so
tell us who you are again.
I'm just trying to see whether we're on Facebook or not. It doesn't seem like we're on Facebook.
Okay, I'll sort that out. Okay.
If you sort that out.
Yeah.
So I'm Councillor Stevens for Alphington and Cowett Ward. I love my job. I meet people every day, and my job is to serve the community, and that's what Tony and I have been trying to do. So for the next 5-10 minutes, we're going to bounce over what we've been doing over our areas. And then if there's any questions on what you think we have done or what we haven't done. We average about 35 emails a day. They're not all about problems. I've had some positive posts. A couple who have written to me regarding the flights where they think the air's been polluted by different gases. So I've done my research on that. That's my wife giving me a coffee. Thank you very much. And we're just going to cover that. So, Tony, can you give us an update in your area?
Right. Well, I'll start the ball rolling. So, one of the things I inherited when I got elected is Isleworth Road. So, Isleworth Road is probably, as it stands at the moment, the worst road in Exeter. I think that's the title it holds. So, the good news is it's took a lot of pestering and knocking on doors. And like I said, I won't take the full credit for this because my predecessor did the same, and the local councillors have been doing the same as well. As of the 27th of April, it's going to be, hopefully, as far as I'm aware, a full resurface. So I do get residents, they have sort of said, I work nights. They're going to be working between 8 and 5. I think they're not working nights, but the road has to be done. So there will be people who won't be happy, but that road will be done. As far as I'm aware, it's a full resurface. That road will go from the worst road in Exeter to the best road in Exeter. And it'll be one thing that hopefully...
It's not working, Tom.
Or on any of it.
Keep on. It's on YouTube.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
we're on
there
YouTube.
we are then. Sorry
Thanks,
about that.
Just hang in there, guys. We're working on
on
the
it.
issue, but
Okay,
go ahead.
so
Well, we can carry on.
we're not on
It's
Facebook
YouTube.
yet, which we will be. So
Yeah.
carry on for what we've been doing. So
We're over to you, Neil, on that one now.
Yeah, so just technical issue here. We're just going to try and get that so it's up on YouTube, and we should be going on Facebook any minute. So going back to what we've been doing, on Friday we met Roger. Roger, we call him the highwayman. He's our local area for this side of the river, and his job is to
Deal with any issues.
deal
that
with
come up.
roads, issues like that. And
Any requests for yellow lines? anything
he's
like
been really good. So let's my area alone. Sainsbury's, outside Sainsbury's in Alphington. I've asked him to give me some time for when they're going to get done. The people who was dealing with it wrote to me and said, we can't give you a time. I was told it was going to get this done this year. It's not good enough. The email they sent back to me is not good enough.
Hey, Neil, thanks a lot. And welcome to all the Facebook viewers that are joining us. Yeah,
that's right.
We had a little technical problem.
We were having a
for some
party
reason,
and you missed it.
Our restream didn't kick in but reliable YouTube. You can always go to YouTube. Personally, it's better than Facebook, but that's personal preference. So back to you, Neil. Can I turn back to you, sir?
Across to me now, quickly.
Yep, so we'll just go back to what we've said. So we're talking about SEND tonight. It's a very touchy subject. It affects quite a lot of families in our area. We've had quite a lot of emails which have said the system is not working. So we've brought Tina in, which is Tony's wife. She is not a specialist, but it's affected her in her life, and that will be an interesting conversation. During tonight, I'm going to be the bad guy. I've already explained that, and what I mean by that, I will always question Tina. I always say the system, so I'm the negative man. But my strong views are every child who needs help should get help. But for a minute, just bear with me, and you'll see why I'm the negative man. Okay, so I'm the negative man in the room, Tina. Is that right?
Devil's advocate.
Yeah. So going back to things we've done in our areas, I talked about Roger Hayne, the markings on Alphington where the Sainsbury's is. I've wrote another letter back to the highway people saying I need a time and a date because even now there's accidents happen.
I mean, there was one the other day.
It happened last Friday, I think.
Yeah.
And we've been dealing the caravan in Sydney Road. I actually knocked on his door, left the card in there. He hasn't replied. So it'll be given notice, and then it will be removed, and he will have to pay. And where's the other one, Tony?
Well, this is it. I was going to say there's a caravan in Buddle Lane, and I think you're going to be served a notice as well. So if it is your caravan,
I can interrupt you. You won't get served a notice because the number plate's ripped off.
Oh, so
But
it's just going. It'll appear.
whoever wants a nice set of golf clubs, go in the door, which is unlocked, and on the left is a nice set of golf clubs.
All right.
So it's not registered to anybody. So there are. I'm not a golf club expert. I know somebody is. But if you want a nice set, then remove them. So that vehicle, that caravan,
That'll be
will
gone as well, and that'll be another parking space opened up.
So, Tony, what else is working in your area?
Right. So another thing in the area is the building works that are going on in Newman Road. This is another thing I inherited. Now, I don't take credit for any of this. It just so happens after 15 years, there are 7 plots and Skinner's buildings, thanks to Exeter City, have started constructing and doing the groundworks on plot number 1. So at the end of it, we should have 7 3-bedroom houses, which I'm going to emphasise I want for local people, and I'm going to say that now, and I've emphasised that. Exeter City, I've written to them. They have sent me a message and an email back to say, yes, they will be for local people. I know people write to me and say they will go to foreigners. I think that's the best way to put it. I can only go by what I've been told by Exeter City, local people. There are families that need housing. There are 7 plots of land there. That's 7 houses, badly needed. They've been empty for 15 years, you know. They've got to be used, and they are now. So hopefully, the way it takes to build a house now, it shouldn't be too long before they start building across the road on the next plot. So that's my bit there.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting as well. A lot of you won't know the area, but Myrtle Close in Alphington, I've been on and on. I've inherited that from Yvonne Atkinson, which I took a job, and that was back in May. I then have complained to Devon County Council. It's been over 10 months. The lady I complained to basically said, I can't believe it's 10 months. But it has been. It's been more than 10 months. So they're going to sort the pavement out, the curbs out, pretty quick now outside the Spa shop on where the curbs are. Total trip hazards. So these are little things, little wins. They're not big wins, but it just puts you in what we've been doing. We're attending meetings in the council. We've got a meeting which is being cancelled next week. It's a Haddock, Tony. You want to talk about that?
Well, it's been cancelled, so there's not much to talk about.
Yeah, but
really.
that was quite intensious, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. We'll have to find out why, and we'll let you know next week on that one.
And what was going to be covered during that meeting, Tony?
Well, what was going to be covered was a big issue in Exeter, Dryden Road. and the opening of Dryden Road, or the closing and keeping it as a cycle lane. Now, for obvious reasons, we are impartial to this. We sit in a committee meeting with other councillors, local and county, and you listen to everyone's point of view and how the consultations come out, and then hopefully in the future you will vote on whether to open it or not. There are 3 options on the table, whichever one comes about. Option 1 is it stays as a cycle lane. Option 2, it will be open to cyclists and emergency vehicles. Option 3, it would be open to all 3 with a segregated cycle lane, pedestrians and 2-way traffic. So we have to listen to all points of view, as we did with Barnfield Road in Southern Hay when people wanted it to be a cycle route. So it's for us to decide along with other people. So hopefully the right decision will be made. We obviously don't know what that is yet, but for some reason it keeps getting delayed, and they've managed to do it again.
Thank you,
Okay.
Tony. And over to you, Neil, for a comment.
Okay, so we don't want to lose the momentum here, so we can update you with loads of things. If anybody wants a breakdown of what we've been doing, quite happy to send you that. So all the emails, we try and answer every email in a short time. A couple have slipped through the net, so apologies for that. But let's look at the serious thing. We're going to be discussing SEND tonight. Special education
Needs and disability.
Needs and disability. Okay. Now, I've been approached, and I'm looking at some of the people online, and I'll mention your first names. Okay, Natalie, Marion. Okay, all these
Marion.
people. Marion. Okay, I need you to send in questions. I know there's issues out there. So, I am not an expert. All right, I have children. I've never been down the SEND route, special education needs and disability. I have not had the educational health plan, but I'm more focused on it now because I do the transport appeals, which is in Devon County Council. So I learn more all the time. I did invite some other people on the show. They've declined, I would say, more to protect their position because they're in quite a position with Devon County Council and the system. And don't quote me on this, where they don't want to upset the boat more than what they've already upsetting. But remember, let's go back to last week. Last week was a very successful podcast. We had really good correspondence and people writing in. I like to get people to write in tonight. All right, just to backtrack on last week, the guys there, Jenny and Cathy, we're organising a team together. We're going to work with some other people, and then we're going to present it to Devon County Council, because at the end of the day, it's all right talking about it, and we can talk as much as we like, but we need action. So in the background, I'm mustering the team from Devon County councillors, and they're going to present their case to the right people at the right time in order to get this recognised, because it's brushed under the carpet. Tony?
Yeah, I think you've summed it up. Last time it was presented at the at our full meeting with county councillors, it was bitten down. We don't want that. We want it out there in the public. We want everybody to know. And the only way it can be known is if people like Jenny and Catherine tell their stories.
And I will make it public. I phoned Ed Hill on Sunday. Him and I have a good relationship. We work together, or we're going to work together, or my team will work with him, because he started this, and also Heather Horner started it with Steve Horner. So these people will be the main players, with other people helping them in the background. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who stands up. What we got to get is a result. So it's not about who's whatever. It's about looking after our children, which in my eyes needs to be looked after primary. They're our future, and that's why I am, and Tony is a councillor.
Doing what we do now.
Rob?
I was just going to say, echo that really. And I think the reason why people voted for you, because they voted for the candidate. I mean, you're Reform councillors, of course, but you all have been here for 60 years. They know you, and they know that you perform. And I have a few friends that have told me that to my face, really. So it doesn't matter necessarily what political party you are, partially, but the issue is the most important, and this particular topic is really important. Right, Tony?
Yeah, I was just going to bring up that I did have somebody message me this week who said, although they would never vote for the party I represent, they were really pleased with the job that Neil and myself were doing, within the community. Now, I thought that was absolutely fantastic what they said there, because it meant something. And obviously, I did reply and say, I really appreciate your comments. And it's stuff like that. We don't really care if you vote for our party. That's not what it's about. We were elected to serve this community, and that's what we try and do. We want the best for this area. As I do when I say that I wanted Isleworth Road resurfaced. I don't want to live in an area that's got the worst road in Exeter. I want to live in an area that's got the best.
Thank you very much, Tony. And Neil, you had a comment?
Yeah, so Nat, nice to see you. You managed to watch, or you're watching. Tina Walker already come. So I shouldn't mention it, but I have total respect for Tina. She came on the show once, and I'd like her to come back. Mike, yeah, brilliant. And right, Natalie sends her regards. This is the one I would like to have come on the show, but I understand that you've got work commitments, but I appreciate you telling me. Right, so let's just look at this. Right, we're going to start now. Send. Mm-hmm. Right, what does it do? It affects the child's education. It don't just affect the child, it affects the health of the child and the family. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the past, the middle, i.e. now, and what Tina had done, and then what we can try and achieve. Now, we're only 2 Devon County councillors, but we also have another 14 Devon County councillors. We also have you, the people, the power of the people. So we can only work this together in order to change. So we're going to look at, Tina's going to come in and talk about her story, and in that we're going to look at why there's delays and the real impact. But remember, that child, it don't only affect that child, it affects everybody in that family, right? And I've had people ringing me up and saying, it's that bad, I've got to do home education, which I've been told to do, and I'm thinking of giving my job up. And this person was a professional person, all right? So it's a lot, and this shouldn't be happening. So, Tina, we're going to open it up to you. You're going to tell us our story. And then remember, I'm going to be the negative one later on. And I have to stress, I'm only doing this for the camera, negative, in order to get a reaction.
Okay. Hey, Neil, could I just interject something? I think Marianne asked how to forward issues to you. And that's a good question, actually. What is your, I guess, best way is via email. Is that right?
Yeah, well, my address is, and Tony's address is in the public domain. Okay, you all know where I live. There's my phone number in there. I can read it out to you, 07904 414 370. Please don't give me prank calls late at night, but it doesn't really matter to me. No, it doesn't matter to me because I wear hearing aids. So at night I take my hearing aids out and I can't hear nothing. So my wife always said, "Did you hear the thunder and lightning?" I said, "What thunder and lightning?" So, but if it's serious now, let's be serious. My email is neil.stevens@devon.gov. .gov.uk, and Tony's the same, tony.stevens@devon.gov.uk.
It's all out there.
Yeah, so we're not hiding behind anything. Our addresses are public, and we're here to help. We're here to support you. And I've got a few cases going on right now. And before I go back, I've wrote some letters to Devon County Council. And if you're watching Devon County Council, I've not had any reply. And I wrote them on the Sunday of Easter. And I don't really want to give my Sunday up, but these children need help. Okay, so back to that. So if we start off, Tina, if you tell us your story, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, Sam, our son now is 33 years old. I always said from the beginning when Sam was put in my arms that there was something not right with my son. I don't know what it was, but he just didn't feel right. And from birth, he never slept. He was, as he grew up, as he was getting older, he was constantly on the go. And it was a living nightmare. I had a daughter who was older. Then I found out I was pregnant with another child.
Yeah, we didn't have a TV, did we, Tina?
Well, he wasn't planned, no.
Supposed to say that.
Well, he wasn't. But it was very difficult to juggle 3 children and a child that you knew needed help, but you had to get the right help at the right time. And I was very lucky to have a very good GP. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah, and I have to put my hand up. I didn't believe her. I mean, we're talking how many years ago? 30-something years
He's
ago.
33 years old now.
Well, back then it was a case of people used to say
He's
your child,
just a naughty child.
just a naughty child.
Yeah,
Now, obviously, he's my son as well, so I'll make that clear.
yeah, but
So-
I didn't believe you, and I have to put my hand on. I don't lie. All right, I tell the truth. So I didn't believe him, and I said, "There's nothing wrong with your son. He's just naughty. He needs discipline." So I was the negative one, all right, in the family, and now I've learnt more. Not just being a counsellor, I've learnt more listening to you, Tina, in the past 30-something years. And Rob,
I was just going to say, as we're going through this topic, I think you'll probably get the flavor that it's not just a single issue. It touches all sorts of facets of your life, education of the child, the health of the child, even your family finances and your family life. It's very demanding. Is that right, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, lucky enough, I've got a very loving wife, but it does put your relationship under a lot of strain, because when you have a child who has special needs, you still, obviously you love that child, but it is hard work. And yes, we were lucky because my wife did fight for my son's,
Our son.
our son, sorry, yeah.
Oh, it's
Trying
our
to stay
son.
into it. Yeah, did fight for our son's educational care plan. And once it was recognised what was wrong with him, his whole life changed. And our life changed. We went to support groups. And I've got to say, that was an eye-opener in itself.
so I've had some messages come through. I'm going to answer these messages in a minute, but we're going to continue with the story, and then we're going to get back to the issue. So, as I said to you, 30-something years ago, I didn't understand. You know, I was in the army, and it was all about, you know, the child is naughty and the child should be disciplined. I am totally wrong, and I've learnt so much recently, and I have to put my hand on my heart. I've only really learnt so much in the last 10 months, Tina. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to apologise to you that I never, all them 30 years ago, I didn't take her serious. Right, so let's carry back to the story after Rob. Go on, Rob.
Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt your mojo there, Neil, but at some point I just wanted to sort of hit the highlights or some basic questions because you guys are the experts. But for example, I've heard that the SEND budget is really, there's a lot of money being spent by Devon County Council, and that sort of probably gobbles up a lot of resource. So isn't that one of the reasons why SEND is, just from a financial perspective from the taxpayer?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll talk about that in a minute. If we carry on with the story and we'll look at, remember, I'm going to be the negative one in a minute, okay? The negative one. So, Tina, I didn't believe you. Mm-hmm. Your son, you said at birth, or you knew quite soon. And remember, these children, mothers and fathers and grandparents, all right, they recognise it because it's their flesh and blood. As an outsider, I used to say, I don't believe you. I don't care. I'm not interested. He's a naughty boy. I'm just telling you what I did used to think. Doesn't mean I'm telling you that now. So going back to that, Tina.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I was very lucky. I had a very good GP, a very good health visitor. But to get my son on the way to being diagnosed, I had to go through, I went through a place called Matford Lodge, and that wasn't easy to get into. I still had to fight for that. I had to persevere. I used to phone them up every week to say, where is my son on this list? You know, is he up the top yet? And we had a 12-week assessment. And after that 12-week assessment was over, I was then offered for Sam to see a psychologist. I don't believe that system is happening now. But that is the way I did it.
What do you mean the system's not working now? I know the answer. I just want to
I don't think the system is working.
Well, I think it's not helping much when the assessment centres are being closed.
Yeah.
So the assessments now, they're being done face to face. face to face in what, 1 hour, Tina? Don't quote me on that.
Between 45 minutes and an hour.
You know, for something that took 12 weeks to do in an assessment centre, how can you do that in an hour?
Neil, you had a comment on that?
These are children's lives.
Yeah, so what I do is we try not to interrupt each other, so I put my hand up. So if you see it on the camera, it's just I want this to flow, not me to interrupt. So the question, I need people to come in because I know people are doing telephone assessments. I want you to tell me what the assessment is. The more information you tell me. No, I've got quite a lot of people coming in here. Council always say no to EHCP assessments at the start. That's Natalie.
Educational.
Natalie, I wish you'd come on the show. I think you're a legend anyway. I've got another one. My brother had special needs, but we'll come back to all that in a minute. Let's carry on with the story. So you had an assessment?
We had an assessment. We had a psychologist. And I also used to go to the family centre, which I don't think they exist now, or it's called, I don't know, Neil, it's on Cowick Street. What's that called now? The West Ex Children's Centre.
Okay, yeah.
But at the family centre, it's like an umbrella. You had the manager, but she had leads to the educational psychologist, counselling. So I consider myself extremely lucky that my son went to an assessment unit, but when he went to that assessment unit, he had an educational plan to go forward with. And that is what children need today. They need an educational plan before they start school. It's no good doing it when they're in school. It's too late. They need it for when they start to go through education.
So how long did it take you to get Sam diagnosed from start to finish? Because I know somebody, it's taken them, I think, nearly 4 years. And let's put it, so if that child is, 12 or 13,
well,
4 years, you've got the exams to go through.
Oh, God.
That right, it's too late.
It's too late. It should be done before junior school.
Right, so let's not look at the problem yet. Let's just talk what is going wrong.
Right,
before
what
we
is
get
going
to
wrong, I don't think...
Now, let's go back to you. So how long did it take you to get Sam assessed?
Fully assessed, he was 3 years.
What, to get from flash to bang?
From
so
flash
that's
to
an army
bang.
terminology.
Yeah.
Flash to bang, he got diagnosed.
Start to
3
finish.
years.
Yeah, 3 years.
That's diabolical.
Well, that was quite good.
No, I disagree because that was really, really good. But you forget, Neil, I had educational psychologists. I had a psychologist for Sam. I had enabling for Sam. So that is really, really good. You know, I will not knock that.
Okay, so you're telling me it's 18 plus months to get diagnosed. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just for the first contact. Is that still happening now? So 18 months where you basically, let's say you registered the child, that the child needs help. So 18 months, the first contact, and then it takes 3 to 4 years to get that child diagnosed.
No, not for me, it didn't.
No, but it is now.
It is now, which is so wrong.
Right, we'll come back to what's going wrong in a minute. So let's carry on with your story. So you had your son, you recognised Sam. You managed to fight his corner, which I know you did. You fought and fought and fought, and you didn't give up. And what I'm trying to tell you guys, don't give up.
Oh, my God, you can't give up.
Right.
Please do not give up.
What do they say? The one who shouts the loudest, and I'm
Gets
telling
heard.
you, if there's 40, 50, 100 of you shout, just shout the loudest. People power.
I was just going to add to that a little bit. I moved down to Exeter about 5 years ago, and I was up in near Ascot area, and my next door neighbor had a child and had special ed education needs. And Tina, she did exactly what you recommended. She never gave up.
You don't. You can't.
And actually, her son graduated top in his class from secondary school, and he's at university now.
Well, we could tell you the full history of Sam and what actually happened when he left school and how he progressed. So when he left school, He went to college and took his A-levels. He went to university and got a master's degree in chemistry, and now he's a development chemist. He got married. He drives. He lives a normal life, but all because...
But they're normal people.
But they are normal people.
people.
But would he have done all that if he didn't have the assessment done and the help he had when he was much, much younger?
And can I just put in, to add a feather to his hat, he married a
She's an A&E consultant.
I mean, this lady is fantastic. And, you know, they live happily now, went to the wedding. I don't know what that is.
An alarm.
That's just trying to tell me that the food's ready. That's the wife setting that. I can never turn it off. I'm not a gadget man, by the way.
No, it's,
Yeah, so
Deliveroo
there was-
driver,
for
actually,
us,
Neil.
For us, there was a happy ending. But, you know, we look at everybody, who go through this. They shouldn't be sort of having these waiting times. You know, spend 750 million in Devon alone. Where's the money go to? And it's not just in Devon. This is nationwide, county by county. But where's the money go to? They close assessment centres. We brought it up as a motion at the last assembly, one of the last assembly meetings, about how long it takes how long it takes to assess pupils and children. And hopefully that's been put towards Parliament as well, but it is taking too long.
Right. Tina, you're going to say something.
Yeah, can I just say something? We were lucky because Sam went to an assessment unit. But these assessment units, they're not here anymore. These children have to go into mainstream school. They can't cope. They have anxiety problems. 9 times out of 10, these children get bullied, and our son was bullied. And also, our home life was affected. I don't think people understand what our home life was like, how stressful it was, difficulty. Georgina went to young carers. It just puts a whole family under complete and utter strain.
Do you know what? That's the first time I've actually heard you say that. And, I'm learning all the time, guys. And, keep running. I've got loads of messages, and we're going to catch up in a minute on these messages.
I did say, Tina.
I'm getting quite tearful.
You're getting upset?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, that's all right.
I'm sorry.
Like I said, don't hide
Can I
it.
just bring this back on track? So, Tina, put the camera on, Tina. What I will say is Sam is a legend. He used to be a free runner. The only man in my life, if I wanted to impress a woman, I would love to have done a backflip. So I was with my friend who's a policeman. I said, show him how to do a flat backflip. He just did the backflip. I thought, Christ, I could have pulled a lot of women for that. That was when I was very young, by the way. All right, but Tina, you should be proud of him, proud of his marriage. It was fantastic, and we've got a loving family. And don't start me off, Mulligan.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, wife, come in. 'Cause
Right, so-
this affects all of us, by the way.
I think we've said about our son and now. I think we should sort of push it a bit further now and say what we'd like to be done.
Well, let's go back to EHCPs, yeah?
Yeah.
Educational healthcare plan.
Okay, let's do that. So technically it should be 20 weeks. So
20 weeks?
That's what they say, 20 weeks.
Yeah.
And this can affect a lot of things. So in EHCP, if you've got to get... So Yeah, Tony, carry on, mate.
Well, like I said, it says it should take 20 weeks, but it doesn't. It seeds it all the time. And we would love them to get their act together. There's so many children out there, and I think what with ADHD now, it's come more into the spotlight. What used to be a time for children, they're just naughty. They'd be sent out of class. They're disruptive. People are starting to understand now. Attention deficit order does exist. It does exist, and yes, there's all parts of the spectrum.
Go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, so sorry about that. So it's all about the children. Tony, myself, and Tina supports us. My wife supports us. My children hopefully support us. It's all about the grandchildren. It's all about the children going to school. So it's not about you, me, and all that. We've done it. It's about looking out for the next generation. Tony and Tina, they've got a success story. That lad, and I've got more people's success stories here. All right. So if we don't sort this out, these children miss 2 to 4 years of education. Right,
You can't get that back.
You
At
can't.
school, I only missed one day, and I think I had chicken pox maybe 2 days. But these children, they need our support. These guys are special. All these people are special because they're very, look at Sam, he's clever as hell. I mean, I couldn't even do what he does, and I thought, I'm not
I
clever.
don't even know what he does. I think he's so lucky.
When he showed us a graph that he spent hours on, and we said, yes, Sam, that's really good.
He said, I spent 3 or 4 days doing this towards his degree, and I was going, that's interesting, son. And I did look at my wife and say, don't understand a word of it.
Yeah, so going back to it. So, at the end of the day, children are falling behind, right? Because the system is not working. And the reason the system not working, it fails somewhere. So we have to investigate what is going wrong. Now, right now I'm the negative man. Is it because there's too many asking for help? ADHD, send, transport. We'll come back to that question
Okay.
now. Have I got time to read some stuff out, Rob?
Yes, you do, Neil. We're doing fine.
Right. So, interesting one from Tyrene. Hello, Tyrene. Basically, she's saying, I have 2 sons with ADHD and Asperger's, different ends of the spectrum, and life was hard when they were growing up.
Yeah.
I
People
had to
forget
go on
that.
so many different courses so I could get help. Tyrene, I do know you, and I totally understand. I totally respect what you do and what you've done, should I say. They got assessed via school, and they were picked up as well. There's something with my sons. They had to go to Honeylands to use the consultant who was fab. At once she saw the eldest things move quite quickly, and the consultant recognised it. Well, let's go back to consultants. So if I'm right, Natalie, if I remember this correctly, you were trying to get your child diagnosed with ADHD, and you went to a certain health clinic. I'm not allowed to mention it. And they said the timeline is too long. So you said the same people who was going to diagnose it, you were going to go and pay privately. Now, we have to be careful here, because when people pay, some people haven't got the money, some people have. Or Natalie was going to take out of her savings to get the son diagnosed with ADHD. If I'm correct on this, the same clinic said they would not accept a private letter, even though it was done by the same people. I have done a motion. I did do a motion.
That's so
and do you know what? I
stupid.
need to follow that motion. The motion was basically Devon County Council need to be working with these clinics health authority.
Assessment
Yeah,
centres.
assessment.
No,
Yeah.
everybody.
No,
Everybody.
They
Health-
should all be working together.
NHS, that was it. NHS to work together to sort these issues out. So a few more things here. Bear with me, guys. Carry on talking. So basically from Natalie, council always said no to EHP assessment at the start. It then goes to a tribunal if the parent pushes for it, and 98% of cases that go tribunal win. So what is Natalie saying, guys? If you've got an EHCP and it's failed, you go to a tribunal. 98% win. Stand your ground. All right? Don't get walked over, guys. It's your children we're supporting.
It's your child's future.
no, and you have to shout the loudest.
Yeah.
It's true. If you just sit back and expect things to come to you, they don't. It's those who shout the loudest get heard.
Can I add as well that, be strong in your families as well, because it does put all relationships under strain when you have children who are like this. But the end result, if it's got right, is worth it. I'm proud of what my son did, and we've done some wonderful things together as a father and son team. And I can't take that away, and I'm much closer to him because of that.
Tony, do they have any support groups that you're aware of? I know this is live. and might be
We
casting
did
you.
when there are probably support groups out there. I think Tina's the one who might better say that. We did go to a support group when obviously Sam was very young. And that's where I learned, for instance, that there are different parts of the spectrum. You can have that end of the ADHD spectrum and the other end. And I did say to Tina, without being horrible, I don't know if I could cope with a child at the furthest point of the spectrum. And I said that quite honestly. I think we got let off lightly. Sorry, I keep saying we got let off lightly.
What do you mean by ends of the spectrum?
Well,
Give me an example.
oh right, okay. There's I look at it as an umbrella. You have 0 to 10, 10 being the most serious. We were lucky. Sam was in the middle. He was high function, and he communicated. There are some people whose children, they don't communicate, and that's difficult. I mean, Sam, for a while, his speech and language, he grunted. I knew what he wanted. I was his mother, but a lot of people didn't, and some people just looked upon it as bad parenting.
Okay, so going back to the messages, guys, I've had from Marion. My brother had special needs, has as a 5-child family, he took fit convulsions. Very sad to live. Fortunately, he had back then a family doctor, and the doctor, God bless him, looked after him. So well done for the doctor. And I also want to say private assessments are over a Teams call and can take up to an hour. But let's look at this private assessment. Right, not everybody can do a private assessment, and sadly, people slip. If you got the money, and people are using their savings, they're taking loans out because they do so much for their children, and this shouldn't be happening.
Private assessments are just short of.
It says, what do you think is driving the increase in kids with SEND? It can't just be better diagnosis. Right. All right. So I'm now the negative man.
Right, you're the negative.
I'm the negative man, and if anybody picks this on post, I am putting a disclaimer on this. I am the negative man. Why have we got so many children on EHCP and on SEND? Tony, Tina.
Well, do you want me to do this first?
Yeah.
Okay,
Remember, I'm the negative man. So
I think one of the reasons is it's more out in the open now. People are looking at their children who have got certain traits, and they're saying, "Do you know what? He or she's not a naughty person. They're not disruptive. It's because of this, that." And I mean, in our case with our child, they got put on a tablet, which for an adult probably wouldn't do any good if you were a normal child. But they were put on Ritalin to start with, which didn't work. And then
it did work.
Oh, it did work, but it went to Concerta then. And our child, he still takes that.
I can say Sam's still on medication.
And what he does occasionally, he goes Concerta free. He will not take a tablet that day. If he's down to visit us, we do know when he's not on that tablet. It doesn't mean to say that he's not a normal person within reason, but the whole point with the Concerta is it relaxes him and he's much more.
Okay, it slows him down.
I'm going to interrupt you now because I'm the negative man.
Okay.
Remember, I'm the negative man. I've got, I need more things coming in.
You're what we call, you're playing devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate.
Okay, so devil's advocate, and I've got some, I know, right. So my view now, and I have to emphasise this, EHCP, PIP, which we're not talking about yet, but all these things have increased by 150% since the lockdown. So the question I'm going to ask you, should you, and I want people to answer this, should you get paid extra money if your child is on some form of disability? That's a question. It's very controversial, and I know I'm going to get whatever. So my answer is, remember I'm the bad guy now, is the money should be invested, not given to the family. And argue this, why should a family of whatever many children get paid because your child needs special education? What I could say to you is that money should be invested in diagnosing that child, supporting that child, investing in that child in order that it to be sorted out sooner rather than later, in order for that child to have education. Now, that is, remember, I'm the bad guy on this show.
Yeah, I actually
hang
want
on.
to say this one.
No.
That's opened up
I
a
want
can
to
of
take
worms.
it.
My wife's taking this one. I know
I
my
will
place.
take
Go ahead,
this.
Tina.
First of all, you do not get money, Neil, if your child has not got a diagnosis. Okay, you will not get a penny because your child, I hate to bring up the word labelled, but your child has not got a recognised disability. We had PIP. PIP was used for our children to have swimming lessons. I said previously, my son had an enabler who went out twice a week, and our PIP money was used to
Well, it
give.
wasn't a huge amount.
No, it wasn't a huge amount, but it was used so that Sam could go out for 2 hours.
Respite, really.
Yeah,
Wasn't it? Respite from us.
It was respite for us as a family. So if you do get PIP, and I believe now you have to be accountability for what you use your PIP for, but our PIP, what we had, was used on our son and our family.
Yeah, remember, I'm pretending to be the bad guy.
I know,
right?
but,
Yeah.
but it
No,
really
well, but
bugs
you
me.
got the reaction that you wanted.
No,
you
no,
see.
brilliant. Okay, so let's go back to private diagnosis. So what we've already got a 2-tier police system. We all got, well, I'm not going to go into that system, but if somebody can pay for whatever reason, whether they take loans out, whatever they use their funding or their wages, or they got more money than anybody, we could be very careful. We're looking at a 2-tier system.
It is a 2-tier
And you
system.
don't want it to be. Everybody should be treated equally. You
Every
should not,
child has a right to education.
like you say, every child's got a right to education. You should not be spending your money to get that child assessed.
Wouldn't one solution be to have a voucher system so that the family doesn't necessarily get the money, but the providers do? So if you want to have
It's all
your
about the child.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
voucher system, whatever. That child has a right to lead a normal life. And if they're not assessed, and if the diagnosis doesn't come up and all that, they won't. They need to be sort of seen early.
Thank you, Tony. Neil?
Right, so I'm the hands up because I'm the negative man. I have to stress I'm the negative man.
My
and
wife won't speak to
This
you
is
now.
not rehearsed, all right? Okay, since the lockdown, PIP, all this has increased by 150%. So let's just look at, before that, it was, come back, Tina, 2 seconds. Remember, I'm the negative man, all right? It's increased by 150%. Well, somebody's got to pay for this, all right? And we'll look at paying in a minute and how we can look at sorting this problem out. But people, there's no money in the pot right now because of whatever reasons, but 150%, and people might correct me, it is increased. So we have to look at the increase. So going back to school transport, right? Because EHCP can be affected by school transport. So school transport is 22.5 million just after lockdown. Now, this year is 51.7, and we're expected to
times.
spend 250,000.
Twice, yeah.
So
Gone up.
what I'm
And it'll
trying to
go up
say
again.
is, are people, this is going to be controversial, I don't care really, are people jumping on the bandwagon to gain extra money for their children? I'm not saying this is happening. Remember, I'm the bad guy, and I keep reminding it because people can cut and paste this and use it against me.
Well, aren't you? What you're saying is it needs to be examined and scrutinized, because the effect of it is that when you increase expenditure by 2.5 times, right? You can see it around you. There's graffiti all over the place. There's weeds all over the place. And the reason why one of the reasons why it's occurring, because all the funding's been taken away, or a lot of it anyway, to fund, SEND and other programs. So it has an important effect.
Right, can I just say something?
Yeah, of course you can. This is your show.
Right, okay. You go on about money, about SEND, about transport, and I do get that. But if the local authorities are closing down assessment units, and the only way you're going to get your child educated is in a school which is 5 miles away, you're going to take it, Neil. You will take it.
No, do you know what? You fell for my trap, okay? So what we're trying to say is it should be sorted out locally. Now I'm back. I'm the good guy now.
Oh, right.
I'm the good guy, all right?
Must
It
have
should be
missed that.
sorted out locally, all right? It shouldn't be centralised, right? And what I mean by centralised, when you ring up this, is it a call centre? I don't know. I've never done it. But you could be talking to somebody in London, Edinburgh, Glasgow. I
India.
don't know.
India
it should
even.
be sorted out in centralised, right? And, all right, reform will never privatise the NHS. So if you think all these rumours, and the reason I say this is very
Because
simple.
nobody wants it.
When I had my hernia operation, I went private. I didn't pay for it. NHS paid for it.
I had a knee replacement. I went private, and that was paid for by the NHS
All
as
right,
well.
so all this rumour is rubbish. But do we pay privately to get these children diagnosed? because it's the same. NHS pay people. We can get more people diagnosed when we pay the money, because in the short or the long run, it's going to help these children. So we could save money. That's what I'm going to say. Tina, what do you think of that?
Well, I agree with you.
So-
They should do it. Trying to get to a GP appointment these days, it's ridiculous. You know, your GP is your first port of call. You know, we were lucky. You know, we had a GP and we had a health visitor in our practice, and we used to go to see the health visitor one day a week. You don't get that now. I'm sorry, the system is not there. I could have said another word, but I didn't.
But just to interrupt you again, sorry, Marion, yeah, of course they are row your boat gently across the sea. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I went to that SEND school, didn't I, up the top?
Oh, Barley Farm.
I was so impressed. You know, these children, I did have an incident where I walked into where I'm trying to get them computers, and Tony and I are trying to get them 60. Anyway, another story. That's a heels trust. But the little lad said hello, and as he said hello, he grabbed a set of keys and he ran down the corridor. I was oblivious to it, and I was whatever in the army. And but these children, you know, they were all polite to me. I walked into all the rooms. They're really respectful to me, and that school is fantastic.
Can I ask, what age group do they take the children at Barley Farm?
Oh, I think it's about 11 upwards, but don't quote me on that. Yeah.
So where do the children go before then?
Well, that's a good question. What I'm going to bring into is it's the family who knows the child needs help. Also, the schools are doing a good job, so we can't take the credit away.
No.
So this is
not
what
every
I was
school
going to
does
say.
a good job.
Good
job.
Carry on.
No, you know, my son was
Remember, I'm
bullied.
the bad guy.
You know, our son was bullied, and
That junior school, not
yeah,
senior. He got a
this is
bit bigger then.
At junior school, he was bullied, constantly
different.
bullied. Yeah.
Being different.
Also, educationally, he was held back. Sam was very good at maths, and I had a parents' evening one day, and she said, "Oh, Sam's been disruptive in maths." I said, "Well, I'm not surprised because you're not teaching him properly. You know, he's done the work. He's bored. You know."
you
educate
could
my
go on to
son.
say that eventually he did get an A level in maths.
He got A-level maths.
So
More than what I ever got.
Yeah, and also, you know, I was constantly asked to go on school trips with Sam, even though he had a support worker. Lunchtimes, I
He'd be
think in the
sent
last
home.
year he was sent home. You know, I had to juggle work with coming home so my son could come home for lunch.
Thank you, Tina. Neil?
Okay, Jenny, I'm just quoting what people say. Just for your information, I think there's something in the stuff Robert Kennedy says. So much crap in our food, in our water, so many vaccines, etc. That wasn't such a high percentage of struggling children decades ago. So yeah, that's a good question. Did we have this problem decades ago, or is it because it's been diagnosed properly? So let's look at families. Let's talk about families, all right? Right. The only way you're going to do this, you need to be fighters and you need to be advocates, because you were. Did you fight?
I had to fight all the way. You know, I wouldn't take no for an answer. And I think even though I was tired, I just would not give up.
Right, so you had stress, exhaustion.
Yeah.
All right, but you never stopped fighting.
No, it's
And
my son.
I take it. Go.
You
Say
know,
that again,
I'm
Rob.
sorry, that is my son. And my son deserved the best. He deserved a decent education. He deserved the help and support he needed. And why am I going to sit back and let somebody say you can't have it? Not on your life.
So would you say late support costs you more?
Late support costs you more.
I think the longer you leave it, the worse
you
it
put
is.
more stress on the family, the child.
And you're wasting their education.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to say is crisis spending, early help.
Yes.
right? Because it's all about money. So I'm here about saving money. And
Right. Okay.
go
Can I
for
just
it, T.
no? Okay. You talk about money.
No,
Kiss.
I've stopped you a minute. Okay, so we have a budget. We have so much money to spend, and it's all about money. It's how you invest your money in them children. So early intervention, early spending. I'm not saying we can't give money
One
to
of
the
the
families.
things, can I say, one of the things I would do is consider, you look at the junior schools in all the areas, we're shipping kids out to the schools that cater for them now at a hell of a cost when it comes to transport. You could cut that transport bill by investing that money in the primary schools, the junior schools, the senior schools, so that we don't have to move these children sometimes out of the county.
Can I
Keep
just
them local.
say something? And this is quite political. Keir Starmer put that on private schools to say that this money is going to be used for teachers in our local schools. So I would like to know, is that happening? Because I don't think so.
Can I just say, sorry, this is so this is not scripted, by the way, guys, and we're not going to talk political right now. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. All right, so
No, we
I've
didn't say
got
it,
a
so we
message
get
here,
away
and I
with
don't
that.
care if it
All
goes
right.
over time, Dana. So basically, I've got here is very simple here. All parents owed Rob Bone. All parents with send children are fighters. Yes, I agree, because listening to Tina, she's a fighter. Tony's a fighter. And people I've been doing, Natalie, you're a fighter. All these other people, I'm not Becky and all that. You're fighters.
Never give
Do
up.
Not give
You
up.
can't
all right?
give up. Please
Right,
do not
also
give
he
up.
Said, okay, so about a special school. So, and I did read it. Something about, bear with me, Vanch House School.
Ranch House.
Branch
Are
House.
very rare to see a sad face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about Vanch School.
It's
Ranch
Branch, isn't
House.
it?
I think they deal with more children with more severe
With
disabilities.
yeah, I think it has more severe disabilities again.
Yeah.
So, and I think I've been to
I don't
Branch
think
House
you.
actually.
Yeah,
and,
I don't think you would find a child with Asperger's or autism going to Ranch House. I might be wrong.
Again,
No,
it's the
but,
spectrum thing. People
No,
don't
Natalie,
realise.
I have to say, I really appreciate your input. I would have loved you on this show. Remember, and I'll tell this to everybody, this is a neutral show. There's no wording. It's no about what people. Tony and I work with every councillor in this county, Devon and local. So let's just say this is neutral. It says us taxpayers pay for the system. If schools helped children in school, you wouldn't need as many EHCPs. This would reduce the cost, but no one wants to manage the schools. That's a good question. So would you say if they could manage it, diagnose it, and work out a plan?
Okay.
If they could cater, I think that's the answer to that.
Yeah, but then again, Tone, Sam was in a class of 30 odd children. These children can't cope in large classes. They have problems with noise. They don't like it. They do not like, extra noise going around.
But you have to find a way where you're not taking these people sometimes up to 30 miles away from their home to a school that caters for them.
Right, so
I would
right,
rather see the children educated.
Before we
dealt
carry
with
on,
in
let's
the
look
primary
at,
schools
Let's look
and
at.
beyond.
I mean, there's 3 people here. I've got people in the background, and this is not rehearsed. Let's look at how do we resolve this problem? We need more money to diagnose these children beforehand. Would you say that they should have special educational need teachers in each school?
Yes.
specialist training.
Yeah, and
certain
also
teachers.
these children need to have an if they are ADHD or Asperger's, they need an educational plan before they go into school, so their needs can
going
be
back
met.
to my question, do you think, and this you might remember, I'm the bad guy. Do you think every child should have an education health?
No, because not every child has a disability or a need.
But how would you know that until you
would know.
As a parent,
You
you
would
would know.
Okay, that's good. That's brilliant. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay, so let's. How do we fix this? Do you think every school should have some specially trained teachers and designated classrooms in order to educate these children, who, by the way, is our future, because these are clever people.
You can't separate children out like that.
But I would
it is a
disagree.
case-
I would disagree with you, Tone.
But for me, it's a case of investing the right money in the right places and not wasting the money on other things.
So where are we going wrong? So we can all talk and moan and groan. And the problem with reform, we can talk. Let's get some answers. So let's get a conclusion from the co-face, I call it. You're from the co-face, right? Tony, you know more than I know. Personally, I think we should intervene beforehand. We need to stop
earlier the
everything,
better.
re-look at it, and work out how we can help I'm getting very passionate, by the way, because last week was very passionate to me.
I'm just going to say that they're our future, and everyone deserves a chance. If you do not invest,
Right, so
in
going
people
back to
like
my
that,
question, and
they
I'm
will
going to
slip
wrap
through
this
the
up in
net.
2 minutes because we're over. How do we go forward, Tina, as a parent, as a person who's actually succeeded? How would you tell our people? So you've got children right now, they're either waiting for EHCP, they're waiting for SEN, they're waiting for this. The first question I said, don't stop fighting.
Oh no, you can't stop fighting.
And we work stronger in numbers.
You
Go on.
do. You do. You work a lot stronger in numbers. But going forward, it would be nice if in mainstream school, these children were in a separate class. They had their break times differently because they don't like a lot of they don't like a lot of noise. They don't like a lot of children around them. And you do need specialist teachers. You can't fix something if you haven't got the tools to fix it.
Neil?
Okay, remember, I'm the negative man. Would that be segregation, though? Because you don't want to segregate
You're
a
not
child.
segregating them.
No,
Neil.
remember, I'm the negative man.
But you're not. They're
You're
still
playing
in
devil's
mainstream.
advocate.
One of the
They are
hardest
still
things
in
for-
mainstream school, Neil.
One of the hardest things for a child with ADHD is the social skills side as well.
Yeah.
You cannot segregate some.
My wife's telling me off right now. I'm the negative man for a minute.
Yeah, the social skills side, and that's another thing. It was hard for our son to learn his social skills. He's better at it now, but even now, if he's in a place that he doesn't know anybody, you can see that.
So
He
going
finds
back
it
to my
hard.
question, conclusion, what do we do? How do we actually make this work for... Remember, it's about our children. We've already got this thing going on in the background with rainbow groups and all that. That was last week. That was quite shocking to me. Remember, I've got grandchildren. I've got 2 grandchildren. I've got 1 coming on the way. I beat Tony right now. So, and our children in education.
Not a race.
And Natalie, I totally put my heart up to you when you told me about this and that, and you've taken 2, 3, 4 years. That's going to affect the child's education. So we can bump our gums as much as you like. How do we suggest to the authority?
You have
Because
to invest,
It's
Neil.
all about Devon. It's all about Devon Council. It's all about the officers. Because realistically, let's be truthful, we don't have much say. We
We don't
bump
have
our
much
gums.
say, but we're in a better position than a lot of other people.
But
we rattle cages.
Hang on, but why is it that some councils can deal with this better than others?
No, good question. Good question. Oh, sugar.
Oh,
Pressing that button again.
yeah. Because I don't think Devon as a whole. Well, they haven't got a clue what they're doing, personally speaking. They could learn by other councils.
Okay, so I've got some Helen here who says, one teacher said my son was unteachable. Once he was remedial class, the teacher said he's not unteachable. So other people saying teach or get more teachers trained, all right, which is quite logical, really.
It is.
All right. So, to deal with the SEND children, that's good. Thank you, Gary. That's very good. Okay. So the conclusion is we have a problem. Agreed.
You got a huge problem on your hands, and it's not getting easier. It's getting worse.
Okay, so we need to work everybody needs to work as a team now, right? And we're going to have to wrap this up because I'm 10 minutes over, and I apologise for this. Tony?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've spoken. We were one of the lucky ones, and all hats off to my wife who fought like crazy. Yes, it did put our relationship under strain, but that's marriage for you and that's children for you. But never give up. They're our future, and every child deserves a chance. And get the best sort of education they can have.
Thank you very much, Tony. Neil?
Okay, so I'm going to round it up to Rob to finish the show. Tina, you've been brilliant. You
Thank
even
you.
upset me, and I'm a paratrooper, and I don't really get upset because I'm ruthless. But I had to have time out. All I can say is thank you, guys. Please send the comments in. The more people who interact, spread the word. If you want support, give us an email, and we can only work together as a team. So the more people we can work, and then we can come to some form of, not a conclusion, some form of trying to get things pushed quicker.
Oh, yeah, trying to push it forward.
Local issues. Remember, local issues, local results. We need to keep it local. And we have to keep it in this area of Exeter. So I can say, Tony, it's always been a pleasure. Nat, I miss you. Tina, you've been a legend. Please
Thank
don't
you.
come on again because you upset me. And I'm going to pass you over to Rob.
Okay, thanks, guys, for watching tonight. And hey, by the way, I just want to thank you for the teleprompter, Neil. And that was
Didn't
really
use it, Rob.
successful.
Never used it.
Wasted time, wasn't there?
It was trying to keep Rob on the line about we don't want any American issues right now.
No problem. But it suddenly occurred to me that episode 43 we did tonight, or have done now, 42? 43. Anyway, it was this time last year that we did episode 1,
Oh,
God.
right? And I can't do an applause button because
No,
well,
you're not
no,
allowed.
you won't. No,
But
we've took it away.
we've, correct me if I'm wrong, but we started this podcast because we wanted to focus on local issues, to have a forum for people to discuss the issues. And I believe that we're not only the only ones in Exeter that have ever done this, but probably the whole country.
Yeah.
And I believe that even Nigel Farage has now started his
copying
own
us now,
reform
isn't it,
one,
Nige?
and he's on episode 2. So congratulations. Neil, over to you.
Okay, we've done 11 minutes, and I apologise for being 11 minutes over time. Yeah, I do love talking, and I can talk too much. And Tony's the same. My wife's telling me to cut it, and I will. Right, this only works with people. And what I'm trying to say is, this is an open chair forum here. If you want to come and sit here, and if you don't want us to be here, we won't be here. Right? There's no branding around here at all. It's not about reform. It's about local issues, local people, local concerns. So if you want to come on here, all I'm doing is inviting people. We've had different businesses come on. We've had different people come on. But the only way to make it interesting is we need to listen to your concerns. And I don't care what your concerns are. As long as we don't swear, I do swear sometimes, but as long as we don't swear, it's not political, just come on this show. So you got our email addresses, neil.stevens@devon.gov.uk, tony.stevens.devon.uk. If you want to ring us, come on the show, guys. We can add extra seats as well. Rob, I'm going to hand it over to you, sir.
Okay, thanks, Neil, and thank you for all of our guests and our listeners tonight. Last week we set a record, and we appreciate that very much. And we're going to wrap it up. We've got a great topic for next week. Thanks for joining.
Is it over?
Respect the place that you call home. Respect